I have to say that I agree with Michel Barnier and others when they say that as the days pass, a no-deal Brexit looks like a very real possibility. Of course, we hope that will not be the case, but this country needs to be ready if it is, and we as a government are now very much focused on working with all other parties in this House to make sure that we do everything we can to prepare Ireland for that outcome, which of course will put a huge strain and pressure on many sectors across the country. I think we are well prepared in many ways, and we go through the detail of that preparation on quite a regular basis with stakeholders and with many other people. State agencies are constantly reaching out and speaking to different sectors and different businesses in terms of what they need to do to prepare themselves for Brexit. And I will be bringing 2 Brexit papers to Cabinet this evening, when the Cabinet next meets at 8:30 this evening when the Taoiseach comes back from Paris. So I can assure you that the no-deal Brexit preparations have intensified significantly in recent days, and that will continue. On the difficult issue of how we respond to the challenges of an all-island economy in the context of the United Kingdom crashing out of the European Union, and therefore Northern Ireland, as part of the United Kingdom, being outside of the customs union and single market without any deal in place. We've always said that that is a very difficult challenge to respond to for us as a government and for the EU collectively. We have a dual responsibility here to protect the integrity of the EU single market that we're very much part of, and Ireland is not going to allow a situation where the UK leaving the European Union without a deal drags Ireland out of the single market with it. We cannot allow that situation. And what I mean by that is the response being checks in EU ports on all Irish products. That is not a runner and will cause significant damage to our economy, and so we will not allow it. And so what we need to do, and what we are doing now, is we have intensified our discussions with the European Commission on how we respond to that dual responsibility of protecting the Good Friday Agreement and the peace process and relations on this island as best we can, while at the same time ensuring that we can reassure other EU countries that Ireland is protecting the integrity of the single market that we all share. And the Taoiseach has referred to the conversations that have begun on that issue. There was a meeting last Friday, and those discussions will continue into this week. We have to find a way of ensuring, as I say, that we protect the single market's integrity, but that we avoid physical border infrastructure on the border. That is something that we do not have an agreed plan on, but we are working this week and presumably into next week on, if we need to, in the context of a no-deal Brexit.
We're over time, Taoiseach. Thank you. Deputy Cleary.
Taoiseach, every party in this House wants to work with you in preparation for a hard Brexit, but we need the information.
What's the plan? And
we need to see the details of the plan so that we can share it and we can get it out there. And hope is no longer a strategy. You've hoped for a long, long time, but it seems, whether by accident or design, we're going towards a hard Brexit. You spoke there about protecting the single market and the challenge of doing that whilst maintaining an all-island economy, and that you're discussing detail. That detail should be shared surely with this House. That is detail that is relevant to every single citizen on this island in all 32 counties. We are their representatives. So that detail is being discussed, I presume, in Paris today, will be discussed with Chancellor Merkel on Thursday, but is not being discussed in this House. We need to see, you need to share that detail, to involve us in the planning of that detail. I presume, Taoiseach, the Taoiseach and President Macron are discussing their Kylie collections today. They must be discussing this level of detail. This House should have some knowledge. We don't want you to give the entire negotiating strategy, but we should have knowledge of the principles and the key commitments that the Taoiseach will sign up to with President Macron and Chancellor Merkel on behalf of this island this week.
David, I just think we need to be very careful with what we say here, because accuracy is important. and we need to make sure that we don't turn this into a political issue or party political issue. The government isn't hiding anything from anybody. There isn't a plan. What we are doing is we are working out a plan with the European Commission, because it involves both the European Commission and the Irish Government, to actually try to ensure that we fulfil our dual responsibilities as co-guarantor of the Good Friday Agreement and as a committed member of the European Union and its single market and customs union. That is a complex challenge, and we always said it would be, and we always said also that it would involve difficult conversations with the European Commission, and they are happening now. But to present this as the Irish Government having a plan that it goes to Brussels with to look for approval for is not accurate. And can I say that the British Government also has a responsibility here as a co-guarantor of the Good Friday Agreement. And we will need to continue to work out a plan with the European Commission if the British Government does not follow through on its commitment to solve this problem on this island through regulatory alignment as a strategy, in the context of a no-deal Brexit, just as it was committed to in the context of a withdrawal agreement being agreed. Let's not forget that as early as December 2017, before a withdrawal agreement was designed or approved, the British Government committed to Ireland and to the EU that as a default position, they would solve the border challenges on the island of Ireland through regulatory alignment.
Time is up, Tom.
That is still the way to deal with this. But in the absence of the British Government following through on that commitment, we will continue to work with the European Commission to put what is a difficult plan in place that will protect the Good Friday Agreement but also protect the EU single market. And as soon as that work is complete, of course, we'll share it.